There's new food at the Polynesian. We'll be hitting up Trader Sam's to try some small plates that they've added to the menu, Wailulu to try some new cocktails and food, and also Kona Cafe, where they've switched up the entire menu. We have so much to try, so let's head to our first stop, Trader Sam's. When dining or drinking at Trader Sam's, there are two different options for you. You could either dine and drink inside at Trader Sam's Grog Grotto, or you could dine and drink outside at Trader Sam's Tiki Terrace, which is where we are today. Sitting inside at Trader Sam's is really cool. The bar is extremely unique, extremely interactive. If you've never sat in there before, highly recommend. But I also recommend you check what time they open and get there quite early, close to the time that they open, if not before the time that they open, because there can be a very long wait time to get in. If you wanted to dine inside, once you arrive, they would take your name and phone number and shoot you a text whenever your table is ready, but it's a very small space in there. There really aren't that many tables, there aren't that many chairs, and there was a long wait today when I arrived, so I decided to just sit outside. And the outdoor tables here are first come, first serve. So if you walk up and you see a table, you are welcome to sit down. You could also order drinks to go from the bar that they have here. And it's not as interactive maybe, but it is also very nice out here. One of the highlights of coming to Trader Sam's are the tiki drinks. My favorite being the zombie right up there. That's the one I usually go for. But there aren't any new tiki drinks on the menu, and we do have another stop that's going to include some cocktails. So I think we're going to skip those for the day and just stick to the appetizers, because there are some new appetizers on this menu. The shrimp and plantain roll is new, the yuca fries with plant-based beef is new, and they also have these new spicy honey pork wings. The only thing that they removed from this menu food-wise are the chicken or tofu lettuce wraps, and I really like that they kind of expanded the food menu here, because I would always go to Trader Sam's and I'd want some food, and there were really only a couple of options, but now we have plenty of options that sound really good. All right, well, we just got all of our food and things are looking good, except for this plant-based dish here is definitely not quite what I was expecting. I guess let's see how it tastes. This is yuca fries with plant-based beef and Asian slaw for $14. And while this portion does look incredibly tiny, it also looks pretty good. This plant-based beef is like coated in what looks like a sweet and sticky barbecue, Asian barbecue sauce. Let's see the beef first. The sauce is good. It's exactly what I expected and exactly what I said. A sweet and sticky Asian style barbecue sauce. But this plant-based beef that they're using, I don't know if I've ever had plant-based beef. It's like a straight up sponge. The texture of this beef is way off. Now, remember, this is coming from someone who does eat meat, so I don't know how it would be for people that do eat a plant-based diet. But for me personally, I'm not a fan of the texture of this beef here. It's so chewy and spongy. These yuca fries that we have here look really good, though. They look seasoned very well. Yeah, these yuca fries are great. They're super crispy on the outside, nice and tender and soft on the inside. They remind me a lot of the yuca fries that they have over at Docking Bay 7 in Hollywood Studios, just with a different seasoning, and the seasoning on them is perfection. It almost has a little bit of like a seaweed kind of flavor, nice and salty. These yuca fries are great, but what I expected from this dish as a whole, I expected it to be like loaded yuca fries. So we'd have some yuca fries on the bottom, then we'd have some beef and that slaw on top. But this is like, it just feels like a weird presentation of this dish here, a presentation that I at least did not expect. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I would imagine there's probably a better plant-based dish in the quick service restaurant, Captain Cook's, right next door. Next up, I want to dive into the spicy honey pork wings that cost $15. It doesn't really make much sense to me that these wings here cost $15 and the plant-based dish that we just ate cost $14. How is this only $1 more? I'm not really entirely sure. But these wings look quite good, and they are very large. There's a lot of meat on each of these bones here. These also look like they've been dusted with a little bit of maybe fried garlic. I don't know. We'll see. They smell really good, so I can't wait to try these out. The meat is super tender, very, very nice and soft. The sauce doesn't really have that much of a flavor. The only flavor I'm really tasting is honey, and I expect it to taste a little garlic and soy in there as well, but it's really just sweet, just honey. I do think $15 for these is reasonable because, like I said, each of these wings here are huge. There's a lot of meat on every single bone. But with that being said, there are way better ribs here just at the Polynesian. They have ribs at the Tambu Lounge upstairs that are great. They also have ribs over at Wailulu, where we're heading next. And those are phenomenal. Some of the best ribs at Disney World. And that's pretty much what these are. They call them wings. They're really just like mini pork ribs. So with that being said, I'm not sure if I would really go for these. There's just not enough flavor to them for me, and I just do think there are better ribs. I also wish they were like a little crispy on the outside, but really it's just that soft texture that we've got going on. So I'm not quite impressed by these, I guess you could say. I'm really hoping that this third and final dish from Trader Sam's is a lot better than the first two. This is the shrimp and plantain roll with shrimp, plantains, cucumber, carrot, avocado, spicy mayo, and eel sauce for $18. This is an interesting roll here. I would have never expected to see plantains on a sushi roll, but I'm really curious to see how that like sweet plantain kind of pairs with everything else that we've got inside. You can see we've got our shrimp there. It is not a tempura shrimp, which I kind of expected. It's just like regular plain old cooked shrimp. Let's see how this is. To my surprise, this flavor pairing actually works really, really well together. I love the sweetness that the plantain adds to this roll. I really didn't know what to expect, but I am beyond pleasantly surprised. I'll also say there's quite a bit of shrimp in each of these pieces, but I can't really taste any of the vegetables. You can see the vegetables are very slim, cut very small, and there really just aren't that many vegetables in there. Like the avocado is super thin, the cucumber is super thin, so I really can't taste that. So I wish this roll was like a little bit thicker to have a little bit of a bigger piece of avocado and cucumber in there, because I really think that like creamy avocado would go so well with this, but I just really can't taste it. It gets lost in the flavor of the shrimp and the plantain. I also think this would be a lot better if it was made with shrimp tempura. I think that fried shrimp would add that bit of crunchiness that I think this roll here really needs. It would be a lot better than just like the plain old shrimp that it has, but this is definitely the best thing that we have eaten at Trader Sam's today. Would I order it again? Probably not. They do have a flatbread and some pot stickers on the menu that I think I would prefer to get over this sushi roll here. And at $18, I mean, that is an expensive roll, so I wish there was more than just like shrimp in this. But it's not bad if you're craving sushi at Trader Sam's. Next up, we're heading over to the Island Tower to hit up Wailulu Bar and Grill. About a month or so ago, they changed up their whole menu to include some new cocktails, as well as a new appetizer and some new entrees. I've just been waiting for an excuse to come back over here and try out this new stuff because some of it is sounding and looking and actually right now smelling very good. So let me show you guys some of this new stuff here, starting with the cocktails. There are two new cocktails on the menu. There's the sake spritz as well as the lychee yuzu gimlet. This sake spritz sounds so good, right up my alley with the Aperol. I can't wait to try that, and I also can't wait to try this lychee yuzu gimlet. We're of course going to order both. And then as for the food, there is one new starter on this menu. The grilled octopus is really new. That sounds delicious. And then for our new mains, there are new garlic shrimp noodles. They also changed up the chicken sliders a bit. They used to be teriyaki chicken sliders, and now they are a pineapple barbecue chicken slider. And then our other new main is the Kahlua pork shank. So you might be noticing, with the additions to the menu, there have also been some things removed from this menu. The starter that was removed was the garlic shrimp, but you might be noticing they kind of changed it into an entree, and they're now serving it over some noodles. So it's kind of still there in a way. And then last time when I dined here, which was a little over a month or so ago, I tried the pork chop, which always got rave reviews, and it's now no longer on the menu. It's been replaced with this Kahlua pork shank, which sounds really good actually. Now usually when I dine here, I go for the Wayfinder burger because it's one of my favorite burgers at Disney World, but in the spirit of trying all the new things, we are not going to get that today, and we're going to start off with some new drinks. So here we have both the sake spritz as well as the lychee yuzu gimlet, and you might be remembering, I am never really a big fan of the cocktails that they serve here at Wailulu. At this point, I have tried every single one, and there's really not one that I thoroughly enjoy. If I had to pick a favorite drink, it would probably be the hibiscus margarita, but it's really nothing to write home about. So when I saw there were some new drinks on this menu, I got so excited, and I'm very hopeful that there will finally be a drink here at Wailulu that I actually enjoy. The drink I am obviously most excited to try is the sake spritz, which has Aperol, Rocky's Botanical Liqueur, sake, as well as strawberry for $18.50. Now, this drink here is only somewhat new because they used to have a strawberry sake cocktail on the menu, and it was actually probably one of the worst drinks I have ever tried at Disney World. I really was not a fan of it, so I was so happy to hear that they kind of reworked it and are now including Aperol in here because obviously I love a little Aperol spritz, so I'm hoping this tastes kind of similar. Let's see. Okay, this isn't terrible, and it is definitely far better than it used to be. But for a drink with Aperol in it, it's very sweet. Usually Aperol kind of adds a bitter flavor, which I really like, and makes a drink not super sweet. But this, yeah, it's sweet. It really just tastes like juice. I guess like a strawberry juice. It is not strong at all in terms of alcohol, which I guess was one of my biggest issues with a lot of the cocktails here when I came on opening day and every other time since. They all are just very, very weak, very sweet, and they just taste like a batched cocktail. Like those are two characteristics of a batched cocktail. They told me that they were only making one batched. The Mai Tai was batched, but I don't know. You could fool me. It tastes like a batch cocktail. It doesn't taste freshly made. But we also have one other new drink to try, the lychee yuzu gimlet. This has vodka, lychee, and yuzu juices with lime for $16.50. Now this would typically be another drink that I would go for because it reminds me a lot of a lychee martini, which I love. And they let me know that the leaf on top is from a lime tree in Asia, which was really interesting. It was a specific kind of lime tree, but I forget what she said. But should add some good flavor to this drink. Let's see how it tastes. Hopefully better than the sake spritz. Just after a few sips, I definitely will say I think I like this drink a little bit more than the first one. I really like the way the flavors of the lychee, the yuzu, and the lime kind of all pair together. It's nicely citrusy, and that lychee in there, I love. However, it is still very, very sweet, which I expect a little bit more from a lychee martini variant than I do an Aperol spritz variant. So I'm not necessarily mad at it, but I wish I could taste a little bit more liquor, and I wish it was a little less sweet. I'll say, out of all the drinks that I've ever tried at Wailulu, out of all the mixed drinks, this is probably the one that I enjoy the most, which isn't saying much, but it's tasty. If you like a lychee martini, you'll probably enjoy this. But we have also got some food here to try, which has just arrived at the table, and I'm not going to try everything because we still have so much more food to try over at Kona, but I did order two different things. We have the grilled octopus as well as the garlic shrimp noodles. Let's try our appetizer first, the grilled octopus. This has a sweet potato puree, marble potatoes, a miso cream, and taro chips for $18. I'm wondering if the sweet potato puree that they have under all of this octopus is similar to the sweet potato hummus appetizer that they have on the menu, because I think that sweet potato hummus is quite tasty, so I wouldn't be mad if it's the similar. Now we have a good portion of octopus. There looks to be quite a bit on here, and it also looks to be quite crispy, which I like to see. These potatoes look amazing. They're the same potatoes that they used to have, or at least they look like the same potatoes that they used to serve with the old pork chop from the menu, and I loved those potatoes last time I tried them. All around, this looks great. I'm hoping it tastes just as good as it looks. All right, so let's cut into our octopus here, and I think I'm gonna go for a bite from right over here. Oh yeah, it is so tender. The knife literally just slid right through that octopus. Okay, I have very high hopes. Now we have our piece of octopus here, but I also want to make sure I get plenty of that miso cream and that sweet potato on it. I am not even kidding you. This is probably some of the best octopus I have ever had. At least it's the most perfectly cooked octopus I have ever had. I have never had such a tender octopus in my life. This is unbelievable. It's so tender and soft, but then it's so crispy on the top. It has an amazing char, And it almost tastes like there's some kind of like salty, fatty bacon in this. I don't know if they're like frying this in bacon grease or what. But I taste a little bit of bacon in here, and it tastes amazing. It might be coming from these potatoes here, because I remember when I had them with the pork chop, they tasted a little bacony, and I think they cooked them in bacon fat. These potatoes are just so amazing. They really just like kind of pop in your mouth. They're so soft. They have a great crisp, and it pairs so well with that sweet potato puree and that miso cream. Everything pairs great with that miso cream. It adds a little bit of a richness to the dish, which is so good. And I also ate one of these taro chips. So good. I wish they just served like a side of these. I would literally just eat a side of these. That is so good. It isn't very often that I order octopus from a restaurant, although I enjoy it. But like I said, this is probably some of the best I have ever had. I would even go as far as saying probably the best appetizer on the menu, but I feel like you could even make this a meal. It has 3 fairly large pieces of octopus here. You have some potatoes and some sweet potatoes, so you have like some sides as well. I feel like this is enough to make yourself a little meal here. This is really good. I'm like so impressed. But speaking of meals, we also have an entree here to try, the garlic shrimp noodles. This has spiced shrimp in a garlic sauce with roasted vegetables and glass noodles for $26. The first thing I'm noticing here is just how big the shrimp are in this dish. We have 5 of them, and they are absolutely massive. This looks so good, and it smells so good. I could literally just smell the garlic coming off of this. I remember I had the garlic shrimp as the appetizer, and I enjoyed it, but I just didn't think it was a great value. But now that you're getting 5 massive shrimp with these noodles for what? $26? I definitely think that's a fair price here. Before we try the shrimp though, let's try these noodles. The glass noodles, and they are just coated in so much of that garlic sauce. That garlic sauce is so good. It is seasoned so well and really punches you with that garlic, which is exactly what I wanted from this here. The sauce really coats each noodle very, very well, but I will say, this is only my second time having glass noodles. I feel like I'm just not a massive fan of glass noodles. I feel like I would have preferred this with some type of like lo mein noodle or something of that nature. But with that being said, I think the garlic sauce kind of like masks that texture of the glass noodles that I might not love, because they're like a little bit like gummy a tad, but that sauce is so good, so like I will definitely enjoy these. We also have the shrimp, so let's cut a tail off here and try the shrimp out. After trying the noodles in this sauce, I knew the shrimp were gonna be great, and they sure were. I really, really like this, and I think serving this garlic shrimp over noodles is the way to go over just serving it by itself as an appetizer. So I definitely like this change. I think it's really good. And as much as I don't love glass noodles, I like this sauce so much that I would consider ordering this again. Post Wailulu, we do still have one more stop. We're gonna be heading upstairs to Kona Cafe. It has been ages since I've dined here at Kona, and I actually think the last time I was here was for breakfast, so it's been even longer since I've been here for lunch or dinner, but I had to come out because they have an all-new menu. They actually have a new menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but we are here for dinner right now, so I'm going to show you guys this new dinner menu. Keep in mind the lunch and dinner menu are a little bit different, so if you're going to be dining here for lunch, make sure you take a look over the menu to see if what you want to order is actually on that lunch menu. But as for dinner, we do have some new appetizers. The octopus is new, and it actually reminds me a lot of the octopus that we just had over at Wailulu. Instead of sweet potato, it looks like it has some edamame. The tuna is also new, and their seasonal soup is like a Portuguese sausage soup, which actually sounds really good. We have our sushi down here, and they have changed up the rolls quite a bit. They've removed some, they've replaced them with different things. So if you want to take a look and see if your favorite roll is still here, go ahead and pause right now. We still have our poke bowls and then some new entrees here too. Again, we're taking after Wailulu, and the pork shank here is new. They have a new duck entree. They also have this seasonal fish, which is either mahi-mahi or salmon. And then they have a brand new burger, which sounds really good. As for sides, there's also a new side in this crab and shrimp mac and cheese. And you guys know I'm all about the mac and cheese. So We'll have to see how that is. Now, like I said, they have changed up the breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus, so I'm gonna have to come back soon for breakfast and lunch to try all of that new stuff. But for now, we are here for dinner, and I'm gonna start off by trying this tuna tataki. This has an avocado wasabi sauce for $19. I love some tuna, and this tuna is cooked really well. It has a nice like sesame seed crust, and we've got our sauces on the bottom. I do wish I was given some chopsticks, but I guess we're eating our tuna today with a fork. I don't know how to feel about this tuna because on one hand, it's fine. It doesn't have any type of fishy flavor. It's nice and meaty, and it is cooked well. I also really like this sauce on the bottom of the plate, the avocado wasabi sauce. It's really good. It tastes like guacamole, mashed avocado just with wasabi, and that little tang that the wasabi gives it is so nice. I really like that flavor a lot. Now the tuna itself, it doesn't have much flavor at all. I feel like it needed to be like soaked in some type of soy sauce, but if you don't get it with the avocado wasabi sauce, there's like practically no flavor to this. I also feel like this was cooked a little bit ago and then put on my plate. It came out so fast, like literally within like 3 minutes of me ordering it, maybe 5 minutes max, which leads me to believe that this was probably pre-cooked and just sitting back there, already sliced, and they just put it on the plate to bring to me. And I don't only think that just because it was brought out so fast, it also tastes that way. Like it tastes like it was cooked earlier, and the like sesame seeds that the tuna is encrusted in, they're really soggy. They're not like nice and crisp. If the fish was cooked fresh in a pan, they would be a little bit crisper. And I feel like this would just taste all around fresher. But it just tastes like it was sitting there for a little bit. But I really like this sauce. This avocado wasabi sauce is delicious. Best part of the dish. For my main here at Kona, I decided to order the brand new Mirin Teriyaki Burger. This has some pressed patties, seared pork belly, pineapple, provolone, and then it's served with french fries or a purple potato salad for $25. This burger looks very similar to the burger that they serve over at Wailulu, at least in the patty. The patty looks nice and smashed, and I love a smash burger. I've never heard of pineapple on a burger. Is that like pineapple on pizza? Is that like a big debate? After digging into this burger, I see the vision. I see the vision with the pineapple and the teriyaki sauce. However, I'm not sure if it's executed super well, mainly because it is so salty. I forgot there was pork belly on here, and I think it's a combination of that like soy teriyaki glaze as well as the pork belly on the bottom that just makes this like so overly salty. I think the pineapple on there is actually quite good. I'm kind of impressed by that. It really works here. And I could definitely use more cheese. Like, it's not super cheesy. I feel like an American cheese on this burger here would have been a little bit better. That's like my ideal burger cheese, but I just like how like melty and gooey and cheesy it gets. And I don't have that element with this burger. The burgers themselves are smashed well. They have a good crust on them. I think if I took the pork belly off of this, I would like it a bit more. Because not only is the pork belly super salty, it's like very hard. Like, it's supposed to be like a thick cut pork belly. This is just like, instead of being like soft, it's like so, I don't think you could tell how like rock solid this is, especially where I'm holding it. Like, this is rock solid pork belly, and I think it's like just really dried out, and it's honestly not great. So I want to kind of try this burger again without that pork belly. I think that's definitely going to make it a little bit better. Yeah, that's it. It is so much better without the pork belly, not only in flavor, because I could taste even the pineapple even more, and the patties, I could taste everything else more. That pork belly was taking over. It was so hard, and that was definitely what was adding all of that extreme saltiness. So if I were to get this again, I definitely like take the pork belly off of it. And it's not better than Wailulu. It's definitely not the best burger here at the resort. But we do still have one final thing to try today. I ordered a side of the crab and shrimp macaroni and cheese for $10. This mac looks so good. It looks so overly creamy. And it also looks like there is a ton of seafood in here. I'm seeing a ton of like shredded up crab. There's some big chunks of shrimp. This looks like it has potential to be like the best thing that we eat today. It looks incredible. Yeah, this tastes just as good as it looks. Holy cow, this might be the best thing we ate today. It might be even better than the octopus at Wailulu, which was my front runner before this, but man, this is some damn good mac and cheese. This mac and cheese has like the perfect seafoody kind of flavor. Like you could taste the seafood, like it might have been cooked in a seafood stock, honestly, but it's not like overly done. It's a good seafood flavor. There is so much crab in here. There's loads of crab in every bite. Now it's not gonna be like lump crab meat. It is shredded crab, but I actually kind of like that because it allows you to get crab in every single bite. Whereas if it was lump crab, you'd be getting multiple bites without crab in this. But this is just like loaded with crab. There is a ton of shrimp in here, and the flavor of the cheese sauce, phenomenal. The cheese sauce is very rich. It's very buttery. And I also think this is a good portion for $10 for the amount of seafood that you're getting in here and how rich it is. This is definitely like a shareable side, and honestly, this would be like a must order for me. If I'm coming to Kona Cafe, I would 100% have to order this crab and shrimp mac and cheese. My server let me know that they used to have a lobster mac and cheese on the menu years ago, and they kind of brought back a version of it just with different seafood in it this time. If the lobster one was half as good as this one, I can only imagine it was probably even better, because lobster is even better, in my opinion, than crab and shrimp. But man, this is some good mac and cheese. I can't believe they have mac and cheese here at Kona Cafe, but they do, and you should order it. Well, that is going to do it for us here today at the Polynesian. We definitely had some good new food, and we had some new food that I probably would not get again. There are definitely two things that stand out from everything I ate today, two things that I would definitely recommend you guys try. First, that octopus from over at Wailulu. Seriously, one of the best octopus dishes I have ever had. I absolutely love that. And also that mac and cheese from Kona that we just ate. That was shockingly fantastic. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today at the Polynesian. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon. I really appreciate your support. As always, if you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, I'm always going to give them to you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.